Now, we're just a few blocks away here from where hundreds of protesters are still in the streets this morning. For the last few hours, we've been hearing flashbangs going off. The tear gas is so thick that it makes your eyes water. The tear gas is so thick that it makes your eyes water.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. That's what his FBI, FBI director said.
Antifa's an idea.
Well, Portland police are investigating a staggering number of shootings that we saw in 2020. The very latest happened just last night in Northeast Portland, where 2 people were shot.
The number of shootings in 2020 are pretty staggering, with PPB saying there have been more than 800. That's compared to just under 400 in 2019, a 123% increase.
You have repeatedly, you've been talking back and forth.
You made a statement.
I'm asking you.
I would love to end it.
Sir,
I would love to end it.
You know, if you want to switch seats,
we could very quickly.
We can do that, but
I'd send in the National Guard, it would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay.
But they don't want to accept the National Guard.
I'm calling on our federal, our state, our county, and our local law enforcement partners to convene with me to develop clear plans to address anarchist violence, both here in the city of Portland and throughout the state.
President Trump has offered once again to help Portland stop the violence that has gone on in the city now for over 3 months. Speaking to reporters, the president said that federal troops in Portland could solve the ongoing rioting that has taken place in the city in approximately 1 hour. Although his help has been rejected by Mayor Ted Wheeler, the president offered his help once again.
My good faith efforts at de-escalation have been met with ongoing violence and even scorn from radical Antifa and anarchists. In response, it will be necessary to use additional tools and to push the limits of the tools we already have to bring the criminal destruction and violence to an end.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it.
It's time to push back harder against those who are set on destroying our community and to take more risks in fighting lawlessness.
Lots of bad things were happening to this poor, foolish, very stupid mayor. I mean, how he could be mayor, I have no idea, but all he has to do is call, and within 10 minutes, their problem will be over.
Do you seriously wonder, Mr. President, why this is the first time in decades that America has seen this level of violence? He has an opportunity to uplift us and bring us together and help us move through this difficult situation in our nation's history, and instead he chooses to play petty politics and divide us.
To the mayor, I say, whenever you're ready, let us know. We'll solve your problem of violence. We'll solve your problem of crime. We'll arrest those criminals very rapidly, and you'll be able to have some nice evenings.
Mr. President, federal agencies should never be used as your own personal army. I'm calling on our federal, our state, our county, and our local law enforcement partners to convene with me. And I'd appreciate that either the president support us or he stay the hell out of the way.
The big backlash going on in Portland cannot be unexpected after 95 days and of watching an incompetent mayor admit that he has no idea what he's doing. The people of Portland won't put up with no safety any longer. The mayor is a fool. Bring in the National Guard.
They have failed to protect their communities, specifically in Portland. And we've seen that. We have over 90 arrests, 74 different criminal citations that the FBI is pursuing against individuals. We need Portland to step up, bring this violence to a close, and I think you'll see a lot of this go away.
Also, there were still some protests and sporadic fighting and vandalism in downtown Portland after last night's shooting. At least 10 people were arrested, mostly for disorderly conduct.
A year we had, some of the highest numbers of shootings and homicides in the history that I can remember as a Portland police officer. And I think we have probably the lowest number of officers that I can remember during my career as well.
Mayor Wheeler has declined repeated offers to send federal law enforcement to the city of Portland, saying Portland doesn't need Trump's, quote, politics of division and denigration. Democrats accusing President Trump of fanning the flames.
Right now, investigators are looking into a suspicious fire which destroyed a garage in the Twin Cities area. There were also spray-painted slogans on the garage, quote, Biden 2020, BLM, and an A with a circle around it. Brooklyn police say they responded just before 4 a.m. to a report of an explosion. Now, a large Trump 2020 sign was outside the home before, but it was also destroyed.
And he still sticks up with him because he's a fool. Only a fool would stick up for him like that. These are anarchists, these are agitators, they're rioters, they're looters, they're bad people, they're burning down Portland. And you take a look at that, you take a look at the scenes last night, and then the fake news media will say that they're friendly protesters. Because you people, I'll tell you, if we only had an honest press in this country, it would be much more advanced. But we have a very dishonest press.
Officers in Portland, Oregon confronted thousands of protesters in what police called a riot.
Police here in Portland, Oregon have arrested more than 24 people. Nearly 4,000 were voicing their anger over the newly elected president. Overnight, violence erupted on the streets of Portland. During the second straight day of protests I got hit over the election of Donald Trump. Police in riot gear launched flashbangs and fired rubber bullets to try to break up the crowd of roughly 1,500 people. Officers declaring the demonstration a riot after several people began vandalizing cars and businesses in the city's Pearl District. Some protesters launched fireworks and other projectiles at police.
I threw a trash can at them because I'm angry.
Will you go home?
No. No, I will not go home.
There were reports of attacks on drivers. Cell phone video shows a woman throwing detergent on protesters after she left her car. What started out as a peaceful protest descended into chaos.
We are here for love. We are not here to spread hate.
There are expectations that the protesters will be out once again today. We are still waiting to learn on how many officers, if any, were injured.
Joe Biden says Antifa is just an idea. Well, ideas don't assault cops, and they don't burn down buildings. Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization.